About a year ago, I made what I thought was the ultimate Game Boy Color, an all-white look with an IPS display and beautiful glowing buttons. This Game Boy has become a symbol of my channel because it's great for clickbait on YouTube Shorts. This thing has given me the majority of my views. And while this Game Boy has served me very well, it's time for an upgrade for a new era of the channel. But what could be better than this? Originally, I wanted to do this video tutorial style, but I was so excited to do this that it didn't quite turn out that way. Today is Tuesday, October 25th, 2022, and I do not have 50,000 subscribers. By the time you're seeing this, obviously I do, but we're sitting at 47,600 subscribers, and I have grown impatient because I really want this really cool Game Boy, so I'm going to make it for myself early today. While the sticker and the screen lens do not show it, this is probably the cleanest looking Game Boy I've ever received. And this came in a broken lot. The inside is spotless. Let's go open it up. Even the screws are still super tight. Everything about this is just so clean. The first mod to add is this little amp. This guy will make the beeps and boops of the Game Boy sound a little better and a little louder. Next thing we should do is desolder a couple things. Like, even though the speaker is totally fine, we are going to replace it. I'm getting a new funny playing speaker out because I learned something about the amps. These things don't work as well if you use the original speaker. So we're going to solder this thing down and use a brand new funny playing speaker. And while I struggle to solder this down, I should probably tell you that you can find this amp and some of the other things we talk about today at RetroGameRepairShop.com. And you can use code Jake to get 10% off everything store-wide. Okay, I think I got it all down. But to continue with the theme of desoldering, we're gonna get rid of this power LED. Is this little guy here? That was actually really easy to get out. Our next piece to make the ultimate Game Boy Color is a little thing from Froggo Customs, this little itty bitty PCB. I will link his Etsy down below, but this guy is a LED indicator so you can actually tell when your Game Boy Color is low on battery. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of solder to the edge there, a little bit of solder to this post here. I was accidentally bridging those two, so I had to fix that. Add a little bit of solder to that point on the top right. Then we can add some more solder to VCC. Now that we've got all of that connected, we can move on. Next up is actually an apology to Natalie, you know, the nerd. I've been holding onto her ARC board for a very long time, waiting for a special occasion such as this. I wanted it to be a part of a big video like this one because of how cool it is, but a better friend would have shown it off much sooner, so let's not wait any longer to install it. All the holes line up perfectly. This one's the most simple and straightforward. We've got a solder to ground up here. Got a solder to power up here. This is the 5-volt line. I'll make it better later, I promise. We've got a solder down here to, I believe, start. Solder here to A, and solder here to, I believe, up. I'm gonna use a little bit of flux to just clean all this up. And now I'd like to thank Nat for not only sending me so many of her amazing products that you can find at nataliethenerd.com, but also because she left holes open for the test pads so I can still solder the wires to them for the IPS kits. Excuse me. But before we get to the IPS kit, it's finally time to reveal the shell I've been sitting on for this project. I designed my very own UV printed shell, inspired by the beautiful gun skin from Rainbow Six Siege, designed from scratch. I made a black ice Game Boy Color shell. I have been waiting so long to show this off. And my favorite part of this is, I didn't just make one for me. I didn't just make 2 to give one away, but I made 12 of these things. So if you think this is beautiful too, you can buy one for me right now on my website, retroremastered.com. It is very limited because this was not cheap, but thanks to my local shop R3, we got 10 of these printed to sell and the last one to give away. But more on that giveaway at the end. These are printed on the funny playing shells that are molded for the laminated IPS kits, so you're gonna have to do a mod with these shells. Or I guess you could make it a tree ornament, I don't know. If there's a lot of interest in this, I will think about bringing it back, but for now it's just going to be 10 of them. So if you want one, grab it while you can at retroremastered.com. Let's install the IPS kit now. Now we can set down our lovely shell. Because I'm terrified of everything shorting on each other, I'm going to cover this in Kapton tape. The ultimate Game Boy Color has to have the ultimate amount of Kapton tape. Find a way to manage this speaker. All right, this is it. The last little bit. It wouldn't be a true Jake Simmons video if I didn't forget the light pipe. Now, this isn't fair because the Game Boy Color doesn't normally have a light pipe, but in this case, we do. Time for the moment of truth. With my latas in hand, in the power vested in me by the state of Oregon, I present to you Black Ice. Let's recap what's in this beauty. We have the amp from RGRS. We have a brand new LED battery indicator from Froggo Customs. We have the amazing ARC GBC thanks to Natalie. My beautiful Black Ice shell, now available at retroremastered.com. And of course, the laminated Funny Playing IPS kit that is also from RGRS. And I guess my flash cart with all of my games on it counts as a part of the build too. There are really only two things missing from this build, being a LiPo battery and some sort of TV out mod. And while I have been warming up more to LiPo battery mods, those require trimming, and I really didn't want to accidentally ruin the shell. Same goes for the HDMI mod, but also I really like the laminated kits. Maybe I'll do that for 2023's Ultimate GBC. However, since my friend Natalie is also working on a safe LiPo mod that even allows for charging while playing, I will add that to this build later on. But I'm only going to attempt to trim this for her mod, so keep an eye out for that in a future short. But let's talk about that giveaway I mentioned earlier. To celebrate my big milestone, I want to give away a modded Game Boy with my Black Ice shell. Nothing too fancy, just an IPS mod. This video is already expensive, but if you want the chance to win a modded Game Boy, check the gleam.io link in the description. And if you would rather make your own Black Ice Game Boy Color, you can of course grab one of the 10 available from my website, retroremastered.com. This is future me after we finally hit 50K. This is where we get sappy and cheesy and all that stuff. I always think it's a little silly when people say this, but I really couldn't have done it without you guys or my hard work, because I worked really hard to get here. Seeing you guys in the stream chats and in the comments, just seeing how much you guys love watching my videos, that's what keeps me going. I know 50K isn't the biggest milestone and you don't even get a plaque for it, but I'm really proud of what I've accomplished. And I've got a lot of really cool stuff planned for 2023. I cannot wait to show you guys. I don't know how I'm going to hold it in, honestly. It's just crazy to step back and think about not only all the cool people I've met, but just how much 50,000 is. That's almost the entire population of my hometown. I could fill Reser Stadium, Gill Coliseum, and Goss Stadium, all with you guys, and have some of you left over. It's just insane to me. So thank you guys for 50,000 subscribers. So like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. Because this is not an because this is not the in-depth. I cannot say this for the life of me. Because this isn't my in-depth. This is why I don't have 50,000 subscribers.